Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into the chilling and complex story of Aum Shinrikyo, a Japanese doomsday cult found and led by the enigmatic Shoko Asahara. Founded in the 1980s, Aum Shinrikyo began as a small spiritual movement, but quickly evolved into a dangerous organization with apocalyptic visions. Promising salvation and enlightenment, Asahara and his followers attracted a growing number of people seeking answers. But beneath the surface of their teachings lay a sinister agenda that would ultimately lead to one of the most horrific acts of terrorism in recent history. On March 20th, 1995, the group orchestrated a horrifying attack on the Tokyo subway system using sarin gas, a deadly nerve agent. This attack resulted in 13 deaths and injured over 50 others, sending shockwaves through Japan and the world. Join us as we uncover the dark and gripping tale of Aum Shinrikyo. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future content. Shoko Asahara, born Chizuo Matsumoto in 1955, was the charismatic leader of Aum Shinrikyo. Before founding the cult, Asahara had a humble background, struggling with poverty and health issues. He was diagnosed with a rare condition that left him with poor vision, which he claimed gave him a unique perspective on the world. Asahara's life took a dramatic turn in the 1980s when he started developing his own spiritual beliefs. Dissatisfied with traditional religions, Asahara sought to create a new belief system that would offer followers a deeper understanding of existence and salvation from an impending apocalypse. His teachings emphasized the idea that the world was on the brink of disaster, and only through Aum Shinrikyo could individuals find true enlightenment and protection from the coming chaos. Drawing on a mix of Hinduism, Buddhism, and apocalyptic Christianity in 1984, he founded Aum Shinrikyo, which means supreme truth. His teachings promised followers a path to enlightenment and salvation from the impending end of the world. Asahara's charisma and the promise of a deeper spiritual experience attracted a growing number of followers, many of whom were young, educated, and searching for meaning in their lives. By the late 1980s, Aum Shinrikyo began expanding rapidly. The group established a commune in Yamanashi Prefecture, known as the Aum Village, where members lived in isolation from the outside world. The commune was designed to be a self-sustaining environment where followers could practice Asahara's teachings away from societal distractions. It featured facilities for meditation, communal living, and intensive spiritual training. The commune became a symbol of Aum's commitment to their apocalyptic vision. Aum Shinrikyo's growth was fueled by its effective recruitment tactics. The group targeted disillusioned youth and individuals seeking a sense of purpose. Many of Asahara's followers in Japan were students at elite universities. They were young people from academically pressured backgrounds who had similarly pressured careers ahead of them, and the cult promised them a more meaningful life. Many of these recruits were drawn to the cult's promises of spiritual enlightenment and personal transformation. The group used a combination of persuasive techniques and psychological manipulation to attract and retain members. They exploited feelings of alienation and dissatisfaction with modern life, offering a sense of belonging and purpose that seemed to be lacking elsewhere. The group also collected a lot of money from its members. Former cult members have testified that they paid handsomely for rituals involving Asahara's hair and bathwater, despite the group urging followers to reject materialism. One described paying more than $8,100 in 1988 for a blood initiation where he drank what was said to be the leader's blood. As Aum Shinrikyo grew in power and notoriety, the group sought to expand its influence beyond Japan's borders. Under Shoko Asahara's leadership, Aum attempted to establish branches in various countries, including Russia, the United States, and several Southeast Asian nations. This international ambition was driven by Asahara's belief that a global apocalypse was imminent, and that he needed to prepare followers worldwide for this event. Asahara's teachings became more extreme, and the group's activities began to take a darker turn. Next, we'll delve into the controversies and criminal activities that marked Aum Shinrikyo's transformation from a spiritual movement to a dangerous cult. Aum Shinrikyo, led by Shoko Asahara, initially presented itself as a spiritual movement. However, beneath this facade, the group was involved in a series of criminal activities and controversies. The list of their criminal activities and the seriousness of the alleged activities is truly frightening. By the early 1990s, it was evident that Aum Shinrikyo was more than just an unconventional religious group. The organization was deeply involved in illicit activities, including drug production and the development of chemical weapons. They operated secret laboratories where they manufactured various drugs to control and manipulate their followers. During a raid, police discovered laboratories for producing drugs such as LSD, methamphetamine, and a crude form of truth serum. They also found a safe containing millions of US dollars in cash and gold, as well as cells resembling jail cells, many of which still contained prisoners. The group's activities extended beyond drug production. They engaged in violent acts against perceived enemies and critics. Aum Shinrikyo's leaders were known for their ruthless tactics, including the abduction and murder of former members who tried to leave the cult. The most infamous act of violence committed by Aum Shinrikyo was the 1995 Tokyo subway sarin gas attack. This horrific event marked a turning point in the group's criminal history and shocked the world. On March 20, 1995, Aum Shinrikyo members released sarin gas, a highly toxic nerve agent, in the Tokyo subway system during the morning rush hour. They carried out a coordinated release of sarin gas on 5 different trains. The gas was dispersed through punctured plastic bags, which were dropped onto the train floors. The result was devastating. 13 people were killed, over 50 were injured, and thousands more suffered from the effects of the gas. The group's leaders believed that an apocalyptic event would bring about their ultimate salvation. They intended the attack to cause chaos and panic, believing it would help them fulfill their end-times prophecy. It is also alleged that the attack was intended to divert police attention, a plan which obviously backfired. In response, the police conducted massive simultaneous raids on cult compounds across the country. It was only then that they uncovered the full extent of Aum Shinrikyo's criminal activities and their apocalyptic ideology. Beyond the subway attack, Aum Shinrikyo was involved in several other criminal acts. Their criminal enterprise extended to various illegal activities aimed at consolidating power and eliminating threats. At the cult's headquarters in Kamikushiki, at the foot of Mount Fuji, police found explosives, chemical weapons, and a Russian Mi-17 military helicopter. There were also stockpiles of chemicals capable of producing enough sarin to kill 4 million people. It is alleged that he had intended to use the helicopter to spread the sarin over Tokyo. One of the group's most egregious acts was the murder of several individuals, including former members who attempted to escape the cult. In January 1994, Asahara ordered the killing of a sect member, Kotaro Ochida, a pharmacist at an Aum hospital. Ochida, who tried to escape from a sect compound, was held down and strangled by another Aum member, who was allegedly told that he too would be killed if he did not strangle Ochida. Aum Shinrikyo was also involved in the assassination of political and legal figures who posed a threat to their operations. An infamous case was the murder of a lawyer who was threatening them with a lawsuit that could have bankrupted them. The lawyer, Tsutsumi Sakamoto, his wife and child went missing from their home in Yokohama in 1989. It was later revealed that they were killed by cult members. Even after the subway attack, their extensive criminal activities continued. On March 30, 1995, Takaji Kunamatsu, chief of the National Police Agency, was shot 4 times near his house in Tokyo and was seriously wounded. While many suspected Aum involvement in the shooting, nobody has been charged. On April 23, 1995, Hideo Murai, the head of Aum's Ministry of Science, was stabbed to death outside the cult's Tokyo headquarters amidst a crowd of about 100 reporters in front of cameras. The man responsible, a Korean member of Yamaguchi-gumi, was arrested and eventually convicted of the murder. His motive remains unknown. On May 5th, a burning paper bag was discovered in a toilet at Tokyo's busy Shinjuku station. It was revealed to be a hydrogen cyanide device, which, had it not been extinguished in time, could have released enough gas into the ventilation system to potentially kill 10,000 commuters. On July 4th, several undetonated cyanide devices were found at other locations in the Tokyo subway. Additionally, the cult was known for its use of illegal weapons and explosives. They conducted experiments with chemical agents and engaged in a series of attacks on individuals they viewed as enemies or potential informants. The subsequent legal proceedings were extensive and revealed the full scope of Aum Shinrikyo's malevolent activities. Shoko Asahara, the cult's leader, was arrested on May 16, 1995. He was found hiding within a wall of a cult building known as the Sixth Satien in the Kamikushiki complex. On the same day, the cult mailed a parcel bomb to the office of Yukio Aoshima, the governor of Tokyo, blowing off the fingers of his secretary's hand. Shortly after his arrest, Asahara abandoned his post as the organization's leader and maintained silence afterward, refusing to communicate even with lawyers and family members. Asahara's arrest was a turning point in the investigation, leading to the unraveling of the group's operations and the subsequent legal actions against its members. Asahara was initially charged with 23 counts of murder and 16 other offenses. The trial, dubbed the Trial of the Century by the press, was extensive and highly publicized. The trials began with the indictment of Shoko Asahara and other top leaders, who faced numerous charges, including murder, attempted murder, and possession of illegal weapons. The court ruled Asahara guilty of masterminding the attack and sentenced him to death. The indictment was appealed unsuccessfully. A number of senior members accused of participation, such as Masami Tsuchiya, also received death sentences or life imprisonment for their roles in the attack and other criminal activities. On 6 July 2018, Asahara and 6 other Aum Shinrikyo members were executed by hanging. The trials were not just about seeking justice for the victims, but also about uncovering the full extent of Aum's criminal enterprise. Evidence presented in court revealed the group's planning and execution of the attack, as well as their attempts to manipulate and deceive their followers. The convictions of Aum's leaders sent a strong message about the consequences of extremism and criminal behavior. It also sparked debates about the effectiveness of Japan's legal and security systems in dealing with such threats. On 10 October 1995, Aum Shinrikyo was ordered stripped of its official status as a mod religious legal entity and was declared bankrupt in early 1996. After the dissolution of Aum Shinrikyo, the group attempted to distance itself from its violent past by rebranding as Aleph. The rebranding was part of a broader effort to rehabilitate the organization's image and present itself as a legitimate religious group. Aleph claimed to have renounced its previous violent practices and to have reformed its teachings. The group sought to continue its activities under a new name, focusing on spiritual practices and community outreach. According to a June 2005 report by the National Police Agency, Aleph had approximately 1,650 members, of whom 650 lived communally in compounds. The group operated 26 facilities in 17 prefectures and about 120 residential facilities. However, the transition was fraught with challenges. The Japanese government remained cautious and continued to monitor Aleph closely. Concerns about the group's true intentions persisted, and there were ongoing debates about the effectiveness of its reformation efforts. Despite its attempts at rehabilitation, Aleph has faced significant scrutiny and skepticism. The legacy of Aum Shinrikyo's violence and the actions of its former members have cast a long shadow over the organization's efforts to reinvent itself. The story of Aum Shinrikyo's legal actions and dissolution serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers posed by extremist groups and the complexities involved in addressing such threats. It highlights the importance of vigilance and the need for effective measures to prevent the resurgence of dangerous ideologies. The legacy of Aum Shinrikyo extends far beyond the immediate horror of their attacks. The group's rise and fall had profound implications for Japanese society and its perception of new religious movements. Before the Aum Shinrikyo incident, Japan was known for its tolerance of various religious movements, with many new religious groups operating freely. However, the subway attack changed this perception drastically. The violence committed by Aum Shinrikyo led to a heightened sense of vulnerability and suspicion towards new and unconventional religious groups. In response to the attack, there was a significant shift in public and governmental attitudes. The Japanese government began to scrutinize and regulate religious groups more closely, implementing stricter measures to prevent the rise of similar extremist organizations. This included monitoring for potential threats and enhancing security protocols. The Aum Shinrikyo incident also highlighted the need for better mental health support and early intervention. The group's ability to recruit and radicalize members indicated gaps in societal support systems that could be exploited by extremist ideologies. For former members of Aum Shinrikyo, reintegration into society has been challenging. Many have faced stigma and difficulties due to their association with the cult. Efforts have been made to help them rehabilitate and reintegrate, but the shadow of their past actions remains a significant barrier. Ongoing controversies surround the group's rebranding as Aleph. Despite claiming to have renounced violence, Aleph continues to be monitored closely by authorities and remains a point of contention among those affected by the cult's actions. As we reflect on Aum Shinrikyo's place in history, it's clear that their story is one of both tragedy and transformation. The cult's actions and subsequent legal battles revealed the potential dangers of extremist ideologies and the vulnerabilities in societal structures that can be exploited by such groups. The broader implications of the Aum Shinrikyo incident extend to the balance between religious freedom and security. While it's crucial to protect the right to religious practice, the need for vigilance against extremism and harmful ideologies is equally important. The Aum Shinrikyo case serves as a sobering reminder of the potential for ideology to be twisted into violence and the ongoing need for effective prevention and intervention strategies. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Aum Shinrikyo. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and stay tuned for more in-depth explorations of important historical events.